Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us here November 25th, 2023, and we are live here down at the WCCO studio every Saturday morning for the Minnesota Real Estate Show hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering, myself, Ryan O'Neill of the Minnesota Real Estate Team, Remax Advantage Plus. Excited to be here today. We've got a great show in store. Throughout the show, you can comment on the social media stream wherever you might be catching us. No problem at all. We've got a lot to talk about for buyers, sellers, investors in our market here in studio today. As you can see, we've got Scott Wolmering, Steve Grown, Standard Water. Scott, good morning to you, bud.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and welcome post Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Like Ryan said, we're going to catch you guys up on everything that's going on in the market, what we think is going to happen end of the year here, and then we also like to give a fun little question of the week, non-real estate related question. So in the spirit of our Thanksgiving weekend, what is your favorite Thanksgiving item? What do you like to eat? What was your favorite? And what is the item that you wish people would not bring? Your least favorite. So what is your favorite item of Thanksgiving, and what would you suggest that they do not bring, your least favorite for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we're getting ready to go live on WCCO. Again, it's every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And wherever you might be catching us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Thanks for tuning in. Steve Grown, good morning, buddy.
Oh, it's good to be here. It's cold outside.
It is
What
cold.
the heck just happened?
I know. Winter is in the air.
I guess.
Winter's in the air. Here we go. We're going live right now. Thanks for tuning in. WCCO. Well, good morning and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your Saturday's starting off well. Thanks for joining us. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, a local and live real estate show here on WCCO every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. The show is hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering, myself, Ryan O'Neill of the Minnesota Real Estate Team, Remax Advantage Plus. And I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We are post-Thanksgiving here, and it's cold out. We were just talking. Scott, good morning to you there, bud.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like Ryan said, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We've been doing the show for a long time, about 18, 19 years, and we appreciate you tuning in. If this is the first time you caught us, this is a live and local show, so we love your questions, 612-294-6949, either by phone or by text. We'd love to have you live, but if you're a little bit shy, just text us your questions in at that number. We're going to talk everything real estate related like we do. We like to send out a little fun question every week, and in the spirit of Thanksgiving, the question this week is, what is your favorite item of Thanksgiving? What is your favorite item to eat at Thanksgiving? And what item would you rather your aunt just leaves at home and doesn't bring? It's just nothing you're really fond of. So what's your favorite item, and what is your least favorite item?
Yeah, again, you can always use the CCO talk and text line to reach us during the show itself with any questions, comments, live phone calls, or again, as Scott mentioned, during the show, we have our own number, 612-294-6949, that you can call or text. Comes to us during the show, and then throughout the week, it comes right to our office. Steve Grown, Standard Water in studio. Good morning to you, Steve.
It's so good to be here.
We love having you on.
It's good to be inside.
Yeah, we love having Steve Grown, Standard Water on. You have a good Thanksgiving, bud?
I did. I hosted Wednesday and Thursday, and I can answer the question.
Yeah, answer the question. Yeah. What's your favorite and least favorite?
It's cranberries.
Is your favorite?
Yes.
Oh my God, that is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Hey, you haven't had cranberries from Byerly's.
Cranberries is your favorite. All right.
And what is your least favorite?
Ooh, that's a tough one, but I don't really like stuffing.
Oh my gosh, we're like completely opposite.
Well, let's dive in here. Let's dive in. First segment, we always like to do a little update from a real estate standpoint, a mortgage standpoint, just to give you an idea what's happening here locally in the Twin Cities. So new listings, new homes for sale went up 12% year over year. There were 981 new properties that came onto the market, pending sales down 13%. So 13% less accepted purchase agreements, 615. And then the inventory still, if you can believe this, decreased year over year. We still have less inventory, less homes for sale in the Twin Cities metro area compared to last year at this time. There are 8,711. And because of that, the median sales price actually still increased as well. It's up slightly, 2.4% to 365,000. And so those pending sales, Scott, down 13%. I think everybody in the real estate market is feeling kind of the sluggish, little bit of the sluggish market overall, with those sales kind of ticking back.
Yeah, and everybody felt it here about, I don't know when rates went to 8.5, probably 45, 60 days ago. And then like the market has responded over the last couple of years, anytime there's a substantial anything in this market, it affects it. So we had a 4-week to 6-week period there where it was really, really slow. And agents were freaking out, a lot of price reductions, things weren't moving. Then when rates started settling back down, I don't know what we're at, but I think we're in the mid 7s to 7.75 ish. Right, I'll go over those a little bit. So yeah, people are getting back into it. We've said, for the last 4 or 5 months, these next 3 months, November, December, January, by far the best time we've seen to buy. Even though rates are still a little bit high, like we've said, marry your house, date your rate. Even though the cost or the median sales price has gone up a couple percent, overall there's still a little blood in the water from a buying standpoint. So it's a good time to buy.
Yeah, it is. It's just an interesting time again with obviously with interest rates going up. It's affected everybody. Home sellers, buyers. And again, you're welcome to join us. We've got some phone lines ringing here. 612-294-6949 is how you can reach us at the show. We did have a question come on just saying, guys, from a tip standpoint, is there anything you'd recommend for me as a buyer in this market? A couple thoughts I had, Scott. I would say, again, if you're looking to buy in this market, be sure you plug in with a really good local agent who knows the city, neighborhood, who can do a lot of different things to help you find a property. We just went over and said there's historically low inventory. So you've got to do some other things to find properties, perhaps door knocking, sending letters to existing homeowners. There's a variety of things your agent can do to help you find a property. I think that's important. I think working with a really good trusted local lender is also very important, Scott, from a buyer standpoint. And I think, being active, getting out, looking at stuff, taking some time with your agent to see what's out there, what's on the market. Things are still happening. I know that, there's no snow flying yet, but things are still happening here, Scott, even though, again, there's a tick back. It is a great time to purchase.
Oh, it's a really good time to buy. And, Ryan's right. The first thing you need to do is find a really good agent. And in this market, that good agent is going to advise you at what position of power are you in. And so what I mean by that is, if you are going to be aggressive in what you're offering on a property, you need to, first of all, know if you're in the price range that you can be aggressive, where there has been a little bit of a setback, where there has been a settling in, where they're not getting the same numbers that they were the first 4 months of last year. Then there are other price ranges where you still have to be extremely aggressive in your offer. List price or over. Maybe you're not asking for a home inspection. Maybe you're guaranteeing an appraisal gap. That is still going on, but it depends on what price range you're buying in and what is the pressure on the property that you're buying in. And the correct agent will advise you on that.
Yeah, again, 612-294-6949 is how you can join us here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. After the break, we're going to be talking to Steve Groen, Standard Water. Also going to be sharing some tips for sellers or prospective sellers in our market as well. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us on social media. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Steve, so you said cranberries are your least favorite?
No, that's his
No.
favorite
That's
So
the
you,
favorite.
what's your least favorite?
I went with the stuffing.
stuff.
I don't know. It's like a blob of bread that's like gooey, and I don't know. It's like
Gooey deliciousness. Yum, I love stuffing.
Stuffing. Scott, what do you got?
For my favorite and my least favorite, I would say my favorite is Jen's. That's my ex-wife, Jen. She makes a sweet potato casserole. That is that's sweet potatoes, brown sugar, pecans. I think she has in there, or walnuts or something. Anyways, it's really good. So that's my favorite. My least favorite is my Aunt Carlene's, who I love to death. My Aunt Carlene's orange Jello with, I'm sorry, green Jello with carrot slices in the middle of the Jello.
Sounds very good.
I hope she's not watching this show.
She actually passed away last year, so I can make fun of her.
Oh,
So
man.
hey, that's our family. You either love it or you don't. But she would make this. It was green Jello in a green Jello mold, and then she would shave carrots, and kind of like a boat in a bottle. Somehow she'd get those carrots in that Jello mold, and it was not my favorite.
A lot of different things to have at Thanksgiving. What are your favorites or least favorites as you're watching? Appreciate all the nice comments. A lot of good stuff coming in. We've got one. A favorite says a stuffing gravy. Least favorite is whipped cream Jello fruit salad.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, that's good though. That whipped
Oh, the
cream
fruit salad's better than this carrot salad.
Yeah, that very good stuff. Again, 612-294-6949 is how you can reach us. Interest rates, guys, again, kind of in the sevens. We're seeing that 7 range now. They were as high as, well, back in late October. They were getting up there, but they've dipped a little bit, which has helped affordability in some ranges.
Well, and it's helped psyche.
Sure.
You know, for people to see it go up and then have it drop back down, it's like, okay, let's do this. If I'm going to do it, this is the time I need to do it. I think that plays into it a little bit as well.
Yeah, that is. Had a question again. What are you guys seeing? Are you seeing any short sales in the market? Interestingly enough, I did just see an email come in this morning from a team member asking about a short sale. That means again that the seller owes more than the home is worth. We're seeing less of that because obviously in the last 10 years, values have risen considerably. And so people have equity, large amounts of equity that they're able to sell to pocket. So even if they're behind in their mortgage, like again was common in the late 2000s, people behind in mortgage foreclosures, most of those people just walked away because they had no equity. Now people have equity, so they're not. So not many short sales, Scott.
Yeah, it would be a weird situation. I mean, it would have to be a really unique situation to even find yourself in a short sale. So even this person that's doing the short sale, I'd like to look at what their other options are, because
Right.
it would just be rare that any home, unless it was just a really expensive home, that maybe had gone back in value, but anything else has gone up. So I don't know why you just don't sell it and get out.
We're going back live on air. News Talk 830 WCCO. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope you and your families had a great Thanksgiving. Probably slowly coming out of the food coma, and winter seems like it's arrived here as well. It's chilly. It's definitely chilly. And again, what's interesting about the Minnesota real estate market is a lot of times people think things just totally dry up this time of year. It's definitely slower, obviously, than summer, than spring, but there's a lot of different reasons people may be moving, why there's transactions happening. And so again, if you are a buyer, really good time because there's less competition. If you are a seller, even there's historically low inventory. So many buyers, Scott, cannot find a property to purchase.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest problem, and that's what we've been saying on the show. Don't misunderstand us talking about a slowing down real estate market and that things are getting tougher. Don't lose track of the fact that this is the second fastest growing real estate market, sellers market. I'm sorry, the second best sellers market that we've ever had versus the first 4 months of last year. So it's an incredible time to sell. When we say it's a good time to buy, we're talking in reference to, is this 2008 great time to buy? Where you're buying a $500,000 house for $150,000? Of course not. But is this a good time to buy relevant of what our market has been over the last few years? It absolutely is. Prices have settled back down. You're not paying 50 to 100 grand more than what the property is worth because you're buying an interest rate. So again, very good time to buy.
I got a text message from Teddy. Teddy said, love the show. I also am not a big fan of the cranberries, he said. Teddy said, but he has a question about new construction. He said, do you have a tip or best practice for looking or buying new construction, Teddy?
For looking at new construction?
Yeah, as a buyer, a tip for
I mean, I don't know. Normally I just go out to the model home and look at them. So I mean, that's the best way to
great insights.
Yeah, that's the best way to look
really
at
great insight.
To physically look at them. The best way to actually proceed in purchasing new construction would be to buy to find a buyer's agent to represent you. And just I will clarify what a really good agent will do for you in new construction. There is not as much work as there is if I'm showing you 30 homes. If we're going to look at new construction, for the most part, a really good agent will get out of the way of the new construction agent, the builder, and you. What a really good agent will do is they will verify if you're buying it for the right value. Is the lot consistent with what people are buying? Are the measurements correct? Is the survey of what you're actually going to be building on the lot, is that correct? Once all of that is addressed, then at that point, you're going to pick what you like to do. A really good agent will not let you make floor plan mistakes, which can cost you on the back end. But other than that, it's a pretty easy process.
Yeah, I think Scott brings up a good point again from a value standpoint. Remember, your buyer's agent is going to help you do a market analysis on the home to take a look at similar values. We just had a question come in off air about short sales. And we're not seeing many short sales in this market. But again, if you pay too much for a property and then you have to resell it quickly, that's problematic. And so again, with new construction, your buyer's agent is going to help you let's look at pricing. Let's look at values in the area just to ensure that you are getting a fair price, a good price. Obviously, people love new. And there's a lot of benefits. And Scott, we've been seeing a lot of builders do buy downs. Steve, I know you're thinking of as a buyer in this market, you're actually in process. Have you thought new construction at all?
I have. I've looked at it all. And I think the toughest part for me is I got to find the city that I heard, like the location. But I do rent, and I have a question for you that I've been wondering about. How does apartment availability affect real estate market? For example, I live at the Preserve in Bloomington. Chuck full. All of a sudden, they're giving away a free month with new tenants. And you look around, there may not be piles of new homes being built, but there's piles of apartments.
Well,
that's got to affect this market.
It is, but that's just a loss leader. Most apartments do that. They give you 1 month up front, and instead of a 12-month lease, they do a 13-month lease. So they're still.
But here's the deal: they've not done that. This is new
for Europe.
New for the Preserve. Okay,
yeah. They haven't done this. They've been like, they have not needed, and it's not like one apartment. They got a bunch. So.
Yeah, I don't know why they would bring it back. I do know that a lot of places do it only because it's why most people do any kind of a giveaway like that. People are lazy at in basis, so you get 1 month free. At the end of that year, you probably don't like the rent price because you've had that 1 month free, put in there. But they're not going to give you the 1 month free. They'll actually let you move out at the end of the year, which I've never understood. It's like, just give me the same 1 month free that you're giving the new people, and I'll stay. And they won't do that. And so, but anyways, a lot of apartments do that.
Yeah, it is an interesting aspect, though, Steve brings up because there are a lot of new apartment buildings all throughout the Twin Cities. Obviously, affordability is a big issue, with the rising rates, in the sevens now. But Steve, maybe talk about back to that new construction question. Um, have you seriously thought about it, or is it because I know you've looked at existing construction. Where is that kind of your thinking on it?
Well, I could talk for a while about this. I'm into quality, right? I'm a general contractor myself, and we go into homes and we basically work with existing structures. And a third of our business is ripping out other companies' inferior drain tile that was never installed property, builder's grade crap is what it is. But it's good,
Mm.
right, for our business. You go to a new construction, I'm actually concerned a little bit about the quality because I do want high quality fixtures and all that. So I'd need to pick the right builder with the right
Doesn't exist.
everything.
Doesn't exist.
But I'm telling you, that's the hard part for me.
Yeah, no,
and I don't feel like I have the time to build a house. Either.
Well, and what I'm saying is it doesn't exist. And what I mean by that is if you're coming, I do a lot of relocation and have through the years. And that's the main thing I hear for people that come in from out of state. Do I have to get a 6,000 or 5,000 square foot home to get quality? Can't I just build a 2,500 square foot really quality house? That's all I need. That does not exist here. And the reason it doesn't is because of the cost of land. So if I'm a builder and I've got to pay $180,000 for a quarter acre lot, I can't put a $250,000 or a $300,000 house on there at quality. I've got to build a huge house that will be quality to be able to make the numbers work. But I hear that all the time. Isn't there any way I can just, and the only way you can do it is you go to areas like Wayzata and Edina where someone has bought a small Rambler and then just remodeled and gutted the whole thing. And then you walk in and you're like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. But outside of that new construction, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, again, 612-294-6949 is how you can join us. Had a text message come in from Kim. Kim, thanks for listening to the show. Appreciate it. She just said, guys, how can I keep track of local or of crime rates when looking to purchase? Best advice on that is to always call directly to the local police department itself. There are a couple national websites that you can use as well for that. But that's an important factor. It's an important consideration, but it's something, again, your agent should be directing you to that local police station to make calls. They have that data to provide, Scott.
Yeah, and I think you can get stun guns from them too.
Okay.
I just do that because it makes Ryan upset.
Hey, 612-294-6949. We've got Steve Groen. We're going to dive a little deeper with our friend Steve. Steve does a wonderful job. Hey, before the break too, we did have a comment come in about our music. My brother Tim and I do Christmas concerts. We are doing 3 concerts this year in Edina at the Edina Performing Arts Center. You can go to pianobrothers.com. They're going to be fun shows the 15th, 16th, 17th. Steve, you are a piano player. We should bring you up, young man, on stage.
Yeah, we clear the house.
You can do it. You can do it, Steve.
I remember a couple songs from junior high. Scott Joplin, the Entertainer. I can do that.
There we go. There we go. Well, it's going to be a fun show. I appreciate the comment, though. You can go to pianobrothers.com. There are tickets still available. We are up against the halfway point at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Appreciate you joining us every Saturday on News Talk 830 WCCO. Scott's going to get a stun gun.
Yeah. So, hey,
Stun gun.
hey, you know what? I just noticed that Corby Manus is listening to us online. Thanks, Corby. And Corby is actually in the process right now of buying. He's an empty nester. Corby is. And so he's in the process right now of looking. We're looking to find him a house. I won't say the price range just because that's personal, but if he's willing to, 612-294-6949, maybe he could text in or call in maybe some of the frustrations he's been in, because we've been looking for a long time. There's just not a lot to look at.
Yeah,
that hits.
I think your point too, Steve, is a really good one. You think about that buying. You as a general contractor, that's probably hard for you to buy something new. Most people that are not maybe in that space just say, "Oh wow, it looks great." They don't look too much underneath from a quality standpoint. Well,
I buy enough houses too over the course of time, and then you start looking at what you have to deal with to remodel, and it's like, my God, I can't believe they.
Well, and here's the interesting part of that, because for any of us that have done new construction periodically through their career, or if you've done new construction as your main business, you'll know that people come in houses all the time that you're maybe holding as an open.
Sure.
And they'll always say, well, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they put a wool stove in? Why didn't they do heating in the floor in the basement? Why didn't they do 7 1/4 inch baseboard and more quality? And the problem is all of that costs money. And so it's very, very hard to build a home that's going to appeal to everyone.
Very hard.
For example, 3 1/4 inch baseboard. So if you go into a DR Horton home, it's a 3 1/4 inch baseboard, which is a small baseboard.
Okay.
So you go in, it looks fine. But people that understand quality, they want 7 1/4 inch baseboard. It's a higher baseboard. It looks more rich. And you think, well, what's the difference?
They want quality.
Well, on a 2,500 square foot home, the difference is about $18,000 to do 7 1/4 inch baseboard instead of 3 1/4. So, you start getting into higher doors. That adds 20 grand. Most people can't see that.
I think I need to get in the baseboard business.
Yeah, that's right.
Get in the baseboard
That's right.
business.
Or knock down ceilings versus flat.
Well,
There's a difference of 25 grand in most houses.
Well, here's an example. Electric water heaters are much cheaper to install.
Okay.
They don't have venting and all that, but the ongoing operating cost is far more than gas. And that'd be an example. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like an electric. Is that like an electric vehicle? I wanted to see Steve's. Do you drive electric?
I do not, but my girlfriend does. She loves it.
Yeah.
She fills up with
I
gas
can't
like
charge my
3,
phone. I
4
can't
times
charge
a
my
year.
phone. I would never have my car charged if I did that. I mean, literally, my phone's dead all the time. I can't even imagine having to charge a car.
Yeah, we've got another comment here asking about my agent took poor pictures. Thoughts from a marketing perspective with poor pictures. We've got some great partners at mnrealestateshow.com. VHT is one, another one, Nordy Photography, Adam McIntyre Barn. Very important, those professional photos. It may seem obvious, but again, that first showing is online and all the major websites seeing the property. So poor photos can be a deal killer.
So I'm not understanding. So your agent took poor photos?
Yeah, so they've took poor photos, so the home's being presented poorly online.
I mean, I don't know. Call your agent and say, don't take poor photos. How about get some good photos up? I mean, yeah, that is a killer. I mean,
it's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, if people can't go online and get a feeling of what your home actually looks like. Now, if your home doesn't look right and they're actually pictures that just makes your home not look right, that's different. But if they're bad pictures, you got to get new ones in.
So I have looked at houses a little bit.
Yeah.
A few months ago.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, those pictures, there are some photographers that are ridiculous. So good. And you go and it's like, oh my God.
Makes the room look like it's 30 feet.
Yeah,
It's like 5 feet.
This is like a 10 by 10.
Here we go, guys. Hey, welcome back to the second half of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We appreciate you joining us. Hope your weekend is going well. And we do have a listing to touch on. Miss Linda Hipp has got a very nice one out in Mayer, 17825 30th Street in Mayer. It's listed for $800,000. And it is a great home. It has a combination of woods, pasture land, Linda said, that allows your imagination to run wild. It's got old world charm, woodwork throughout the home. It's a 4-bed, 3-bath. It's got a nice main floor bedroom, huge eat-in kitchen, formal living dining room, great lighting for hosting all types of special events. And it's situated on 30 usable acres. With an additional building enticement. It makes this a great property. Again, that's 17825 30th Street in Mayer, Minnesota for $800,000. We're taking all kinds of questions today, comments, thoughts throughout the week. 612 and during the show, 294-6949, 612-294-6949. Another question saying, are we seeing much bank-owned inventory? Not really. Not a lot of bank-owned inventory because, again, people have equity in their homes. So even if they're behind in their mortgage, they are selling the property. They are not just walking away from it. Scott, not a lot of bank owned.
No, there's not. And just maybe just a real quick reason why people go into foreclosure. Ryan hit it exactly on the case. You only go into foreclosure if your home is worth less than what you owe on it. So the reason so many people went into foreclosure back 2006 through 2012 is you bought your home for $500,000, and within 4 months it was worth 250. And so you owe 500 grand on the house, but it's only worth 250. You haven't put any money in the house. People walked in droves. And what Ryan's
some of that,
yeah.
right.
And what Ryan's saying right now is, you bought a home for 500,000 3 years ago. The house is worth 6.25 right now. So even if you're behind on your payment, you can sell the home and get out.
And to add to Scott's point too, Steve, people that with the current economy, with rising interest rates, with inflation, with affordability issues, obviously there's a lot of really good people that have come on harder times that if they're not keeping up with their mortgage payment, even in those situations, they're getting behind in their mortgage. They still, again, are deciding to sell in many cases because, again, they've got equity in their property. And Steve, that's a huge difference. It's a big reason I don't think we're going to see much bank-owned inventory at all. I just, again, hopefully, as we get into the spring, again, a little more inventory. But you're a buyer, Steve. More inventory would be good for you.
That would be. Lower interest rates would be good too.
Yes, lower interest rates would be good in the 7s.
But
Steve,
we've talked about this before. My first house, I bought it down a point, took it down to 9%. My parents in the 80s did not buy a home, but I think the interest rates back then, what were they, 13, 14, 15? So it depends on what you're comparing to. When you compare to 3%, or are we comparing to 13?
Well, I think that we're comparing the difference in home cost, because if you go back to 1999, the average box Rambler in Apple Valley was $143,000. The average income for a teacher was $60,000. Now the average Rambler box in Apple Valley is about $380,000, and the average teacher's salary is $65,000. So yeah, it's less interest rate than it was in the 80s, but you're paying 5 times the amount for your house, and your income's only gone up a small percentage.
just affordability.
That's what hurts. It's affordability.
Yeah, just people, and it's hard. It's really hard out there. Obviously, as agents, we're feeling it and talking to a lot of our clients. Obviously, rents are getting super expensive. We did have a question said, "Hey guys, can you talk a little bit about the Brainerd, Baxter, Nisswa area and why prices remain so high here?" I'll share some stats with that text here. These are year over year numbers. Again, new listings are up 22%. But just from a number standpoint, that is 137 active listings in 2022. And then in 2023, there's 168. So
Yeah.
only 168. Yeah. Closed sales are down 12% up there. And the median sales price is actually almost flat year over year. People, we love our cabins, Scott. We love our cabins. People love going up north. It's a supply and demand issue. Again, there's just nothing for sale. There's some of the off-market stuff that happens, and that's probably frustrating for people listening up again in the Brainerd, Baxter area, not able to find anything.
Well, it's not, and it's always an interesting. And I've owned lake homes up in Brainerd through the years, and it's always an interesting thing, because the time to buy lake property is when your single family home is going down in value. Because the reason that the way that people buy lake property is their current property's gone up considerably. They've got a bunch of equity in it. So they take the equity out of their house, they refinance their house, and they buy a lake home. And so that drives lake home prices up, because in a market where people have the ability to take money out of their house and buy it, they can. So the time that you want to buy lake property is, unfortunately, when your particular home isn't doing that well, because when they're not, lake properties get a little bit condensed, and that's not what's going on right now, because people do have money in their houses.
Steve, give a little snapshot again. Standard Water, great company, great people, locally owned, doing a lot. You work with a lot of the various real estate brokers here in the Twin Cities. Maybe talk a little bit about what you guys are working on.
Sure. Well, the guts of our business is waterproofing, and And so if you go down in any basement, you look around, if there's signs of water damage, or if you see a sump pump, those are things that we can help out with. So an interior drain tile system allows a sump pump to remove water as it comes in. And it's not something people love to deal with, but when it comes to sump pumps, that's one of our specialties. So we do third horse, half horse, full horse, alternating pumps, backup pumps, Wi-Fi. We can move the basin, enlarge the basin. Thousands of sump pumps each year. So even if someone doesn't already has a waterproofing system installed, we can certainly help out with that. And then foundation repair. Sometimes if you go in a basement, you'll see a crack, like a horizontal crack. That's something we can help out with. We also do some exterior waterproofing, and then along with the egress windows and radon mitigation. So all those products touch home buyers, and I'm talking to real estate agents pretty much every day. So it's a good business, fun business, and rewarding because we're helping people all the time.
Steve's not only a piano player, he's a great dancer as well. You are the weekend dancer, Steve. Steve's like, what are we going to talk about here? You are a great dancer, Steve. We've seen some TikTok videos, YouTube. I mean, you know what I mean? Just unbelievable, Scott.
My girlfriend's a great dancer. I just kind of tag along for the ride. You know, it's kind of like if we're dancing out there, no one sees me. So, you know, that's okay.
What's the name of that dating site you're on? 80s, great 80s ladies or something like that?
No, but we were at Bogart's.
Yeah, Bogart's.
Night,
yeah.
Ladies of the 80s. That's right.
That was the name of the band?
I know. I'm just teasing.
Fun. Super fun. Steve, though, it is, again, from a business standpoint, you do also own a plumbing company. Maybe talk about that.
I do. A.J. Albert's Plumbing out of Woodbury. We do remodeling and service work around the metro area. Have a bunch of plumbers that do high quality work, and we have quite a few 5-star Google reviews. So we're into service, and you know, a lot of times with plumbing, I think people want great service, high quality work, but they don't want to pay $1 billion either. And I think we really have good prices. We really do. You stacked ours up against other companies, we're very, very competitive. So that's A.J. Albert's Plumbing out of Woodbury. Call us anytime, here to help.
You are a go-getter, my friend. He's a go-getter.
He is very nice. I'm sure that business runs as well as Standard Water. The question of the day that we asked out at the beginning is, what is your favorite Thanksgiving meal, item at Thanksgiving, and what is your least favorite? Steve's favorite was cranberries, and his least favorite was stuffing. My favorite was my ex-wife Jen's sweet potato casserole, and I do not like my Aunt Carlene's green Jell-O with carrots sliced up in the middle.
And I don't like that either.
No, I'm not sure if anybody does. And Ryan, what happens at the O'Neill family Thanksgiving?
Well, we're up against our third break. Maybe after the break too, we might have to ask Dennis too. Dennis's favorite. I think Dennis is a really good cook. This guy has got some skills and some talent. So maybe after the break, we'll see what Dennis's are here as well. Appreciate it. Have had some phone lines, texts coming in. Again, we are a local real estate team. We help people buy homes, sell homes, invest in real estate. We would love to work with you, your family, aunts, uncles, grandkids, nieces, nephews. We are a caring team, helpful and supportive. Please don't hesitate to reach out anytime. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Aunt Carlene, God rest her soul.
God rest her soul.
She really cooked well though, Scott.
She did. She was consistent. That was there every meal. And then so when I think of cranberries, Steve, I think of that can that they dump into a little glass thing and then they slice it into like little slices.
No, that's ish.
That's ish.
That's so gross.
You know, cranberries are supposed to be like really good for you. Still. But yeah, whatever we got at Byerly's, they were like crunchy. No, it wasn't that canned crap.
Yeah, that's what I always think of.
Yeah.
Steve, you could be a host of the show. We need to have you on more. I think that's the common feeling we're getting.
Well, I think when you take a day off, I'll host it already. I'll be like, welcome to the Standard Water.
That's right. Standard Water Hour.
Yeah, we got another question. We'll wait for this one. We'll wait for this on air, CCO listener. But again, really, you work with a lot of team members. I know you do. You've done a lot of work with various agents on the team for, again, Radon, fellow agents, brokers, listening, watching. Plug in with Steve Standard Water. They are local. They pick up the phone. They call you back. They've got a ton of Google
CCO.
reviews, legit Google reviews. You know, you can sometimes tell when businesses have fake Google reviews when they're, yeah.
We had a fake negative review come in.
You did?
Oh yeah, this person's going on. They're not in our
It's like
database,
1
and it's
o'clock, 1 or
like,
2
yeah,
o'clock.
it's probably a competitor. Oh well.
That's
Really?
such garbage.
Did you reply to it?
I
Hang
did
on,
not.
Let me
well,
double check. Just hang on.
I think I was, call our office. We can help you with
Yeah, you should reply to
I'm
it.
gonna put you on hold.
You should reply to the. You can dispute it too. Did you dispute it?
that. I did.
Yeah.
I haven't had luck in the past. We get one a year or whatever. I haven't had luck getting them removed.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's weak. That's very weak. But again, seriously, plug in with Steve. And one of these times, we got to find an online video of you dancing. That would be fun,
no,
Steve.
No, that's not gonna
Our viewership is increasing as we talk about you
happen. I don't
dancing.
think so. That would go backwards. Like, hey, where'd everyone go?
Oh, it is. It's hard to believe, guys. We're almost ending the year. Obviously, it's been a slow year for the market, Scott, just across the board for a lot of agents, mortgage, title, been one of the slowest years, really, for a lot of people, a lot of seasoned agents.
Yeah.
Very kind of an unusual year, obviously, with this interest rate snafu.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell everybody, this is actually I've been in the business for 25 years.
Yeah, it looks like between.
This is
2 and 3.
this is the second worst year I've ever had.
Yeah,
2000,
that's what it-
2007 was my worst. That was right after the crash. And this one is too. And a lot of seasoned agents are having the same thing. We went through so many things in the market. A 2.6% interest rate that went to 7.5, a 7.5 that went to 8.5. And so it's really hard to find out what is actually going to be driving business in this market. So yeah, people have struggled, and some agents have done extremely well.
Yeah.
So it just it's real estate. I mean, there's ups and downs, and it just depends on.
There is
what-
one I saw who's doing pretty well.
Is there one? Yeah.
Steve. What else with that AJ Alberts, man? Plumbing is that's good stuff.
Plumbing.
Yeah.
I've always said that's been my motto my whole life. Plumbing is good stuff.
You think about everybody needs a good plumber.
Anything that touches water in the house, you start going through it. It's quite the list.
Yeah. And is that Twin Cities wide? You said you're based out of Woodbury, but all over.
So water conditioning, RO systems. There's a dozen different types of water heaters, sump pumps too.
Here we go, guys. We're going live back on CCO. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your weekend is going well. Had some nice comments, questions coming in, Thanksgiving related and otherwise. We did have a text message question come in that says, every time I hear of buyers skipping home inspections, it makes me cringe. As an owner of an older home, I found my home inspection to be a very valuable tool when it came time to purchase. Is there any talk of requiring inspections as part of the purchase process? I think we're setting up a whole generation of new home buyers for potential problems in the future. Thanks for taking my question, Tony. Thanks for listening, Tony. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've set up a whole generation of people that haven't had a home inspection. I think we set up about a 6-month group of people that didn't have a home inspection. So January of 2022 through about mid-year. Again, when rates were at 2.8%, limited inventory, you could not buy a home, frankly, with a home inspection. That's gone now. I mean, we're back to a relatively equal market as far as buying and selling, even though, again, it's a seller's market on paper, but there's definitely been a slowing down. So for the most part, most offers are getting an inspection at this point. But I hear it. In 23 years, I didn't do one house without a home inspection. And through that year of 2022, I don't think I did a home with a home inspection.
Yeah, really good point. And cities, there's various cities throughout the Twin Cities metro that require what's called a truth in housing or a time of sale inspection that to ensure various safety related items. But again, I think your text and your point is a really good one, Tony. So important to have that home inspection. We've got 3 great home inspectors, part of our Minnesota Real Estate Show. And it is an important process, both for the buyer and, like he noted as well in his text, for sellers as well, to help you become aware of your home, certain aspects of your home. We see some home sellers that will do a home inspection prior to listing the property so they can proactively attack different things, Steve. A good point. Good thoughts.
And just to kind of go along with what Ryan's saying, and I understand what you're saying. Having no home inspection is definitely more risky, obviously, than having a home inspection. With that said, I can think on one hand, in all the homes I've sold for 20 something years, home inspection that costs the buyer more than $5,000. I mean, it doesn't happen a whole lot. So, so when you had to do it last year, it was a calculated risk. You go through the house, you do as much looking as you can, outside of a shot roof or mold in the attic. Outside of that, everything else is just a little bit of money out of your pocket. It's not going to kill you.
Yeah, Steve, you got a thought there?
What does a home inspection cost?
Yeah, you're probably $400 to $500 is what you're paying. And again, he or she's coming out and doing a pretty detailed analysis, looking at the property itself and advising on different things. Again, both for a buyer or a seller. It's part of the purchase agreement. You can always do a home inspection. You can make it contingent on a home inspection, which means that you decide whether or not you're going to buy based upon that. Hey, before we wrap up though, Dennis, we can't let you off the hook here. Dennis he does just a wonderful job for us. Dennis, favorite Thanksgiving food and least favorite Thanksgiving food. What do you think there? What do you think, Dennis?
Leftovers.
Leftovers.
I'm a leftover guy.
Okay.
I will take it all. Anything that they don't want, I will take it all.
So leftovers?
Leftovers are my favorite. Absolute favorite. And since I'm kind of the Norskis, you can have the pickled herring.
Oh my God. That is my
pickled herring.
That is like literally one of my favorites. I love pickled herring.
Speaking of the Norskis, this is a whole nother conversation, is the flag controversy that's coming about. The new flags. That was a big topic at the O'Neill Thanksgiving yesterday.
What new flag?
The Minnesota state flag. There are 6 now designs, and some are happy, some are very upset about the flags. It is a lot of stuff going on there, Steve.
I am not up to speed on this topic. But
You are not.
I haven't heard a word. I haven't heard a word about it. But before we get to the end of the show, we only have a few seconds. Want to say happy birthday to my very good friend, Mr. Ryan O'Neill. What is the age, if you don't mind saying?
Thank you very much. 49 today.
Oh, are you really 49?
Thank you.
You look young.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Steve?
Do we sing?
No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't.
You just
sing.
dance.
I sang to him before the show. We just do that privately. It's between us.
Hey guys, time is up. Scott, real quick, last thought.
No, just everybody, get out there again. Next 3 months, if you're a buyer, perfect time to buy. If you are a seller, perfect time to sell, especially if you're going to be buying into the beginning of next spring. So get out there and let us know if we can help you.
Steve, best way for people to connect with you?
Standardwire.com. Looking at remodeling or anything related to egress windows, radon mitigation, or wireproofing, now is the time to start gathering your information and make a decision. So no harm to give us a call. We give free estimates, and my top 4 guys have been with us over 20 years.
Very nice. Steve Groen, Standard Water. Hey, we appreciate you listening to us. Thank you, everybody, for joining us every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on the Minnesota Real Estate Show. You can check out our podcast, too, if you're just catching part of the show. mnrealestateshow.com. Again, buying, selling, investing in real estate. Please don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. We have a top agent on our team all throughout Minnesota and Western Wisconsin. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. We'll be back next Saturday. Take care. Thanks for joining us. Fun show today. Nice job. Nice job, Steve.
It was fun.
It was fun.
It was, always is.
Lots of good stuff. Scott, good job, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
Scott's now off camera. There we go. All right, everybody. We'll be back next Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And appreciate all the nice comments, birthday comments. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And we will talk to you soon. Take